And first, we might as well start off with my man Zion, man.
Hmm.
Zion Williams, man. Come on, missing the flight, getting suspended. And it's not really the first coincidence because it seems like it's an ongoing issue. It's not normal for guys to get suspended after missing the first flight, at least. But just real quick, Saeed, before we get to that, I'm just gonna play Coach Willie Green as he was asked about it.
Yeah.
You guys check it out.
Is that like you're late once and you're suspended, or is this like has this been a problem with him? He's been warned and you suspended him.
Yeah, there were several occasions that led up to this, and that's how we got to this decision.
Now, right there is the confirmation, just so the audience can know what's going on with the Pelicans, and also Zion Williams actually was kind of tap dancing around. I don't know if he's falling in love with other teams, but he's kind of showing signs that he's out. Here's him talking about other arenas, just playing there, and sort of the love for it or affinity.
Man, I don't have a direct list, but New York. I think Brooklyn is a low key one that I don't think people appreciate enough. Boston, who else? Chicago. I like Atlanta. I think they have like a really good, arena, and especially the black culture down there is really big down there. It's a lot of dope arenas out there that they each have their own thing about them. Like for LA would be like the lights. New York, like it feels like the arena's dark but the court lit up. Brooklyn, I love New York music, like Jay, Big, like you and they play that music in there, and you just feel like the aura, the ambiance in there. And Chicago's the Bulls, like the dynasty they built here. So each of those arenas, and if I'm missing some, I apologize. I feel like I gotta say this because you just never know. New Orleans is obviously my favorite arena to play in. Like I feel like I have to say, even though I shouldn't have to say that, New Orleans is clearly by far my favorite arena to play in. But as a basketball fan and someone that tries to appreciate the game, arenas do have their certain, appeal to them.
God damn, my man mentioned New York like 3 times. He low key did when he said New
Mm,
York and
New
then
York,
Brooklyn.
Atlanta.
Yeah, but
Probably both New Yorks.
yeah, but
Yeah.
both New Yorks is one New York. That's really what he means. But he's really
Mm,
trying to
yeah.
get the fuck up out of there, man. Maybe Brooklyn Nets is a destination.
And he wants to go to a big market. Beside
Yeah.
Atlanta, all he mentioned was big markets.
And then he mentioned New York a third time when he mentioned the music coming out of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It seems like all of these teams are teams he wants to go to instead. Like pretty clear. I think at the end he just tried to save his ass to avoid a suspension.
Hell yeah, let's not beat around the tush, man. Like it's over, man. It's over.
Yeah, he's done with New Orleans.
Whatever this is, it's over, man. Because we're talking about 6 seasons in, or is this his 5th season? I think
It's
6.
sixth season. Yeah.
Playing 8 games only this year, and once again, averaging 20 points per game. Nothing crazy. You know what I mean? The rebounding is nothing crazy either. The rebounding and the assist, it's nothing crazy. So they waited 6 years to get 20 points a game. And remember how I said last season was the most that he played. He played 70 games.
No, I disagree, bro. 5 assists is a good number for a power forward, bro.
It's good, but you know what I mean? Like, we're talking about a guy who played 70 games last year and kind of averaged the same thing and didn't even make all NBA third team or even an all-star. So
Yeah. But dude, I don't know, dude, you look at the first two real seasons he had, right? Both times all-stars, right? And then obviously like injuries and weight issues. I'll give him that. But I wouldn't say like, this guy has zero to no value. As a second option, Zion has value. If healthy, he has value as a second or third option.
He definitely does have value. The only thing is he's complicated to build around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree.
Like some players, a lot of players have value, but he's slowly fallen to that tier where he's valuable, but we're not gonna build around him. He complements someone else. Like
I agree.
he's moved on to that tier now.
He's a guy who can be the second ball handler, more of an off ball guy, to be honest with you. That is the best thing Zion Williamson can be, a guy you throw in the paint. Hopefully he
Hmm.
develops the three, but that's it. Like that's I just view Zion as that. I think health reasons is why you can never make him into a first option.
Yeah, one thing that's kind of fucking up Zion and the Pelicans here is that organization, just that team, they're not the type of franchise that's, forward thinking. They're not
They're not
innovative.
very pivotal.
Yeah, they're not innovative in building a
Yeah.
roster and building a team around a difficult person like Zion, like meaning like his size, his height. He's not really like he's like
Well,
he's a tweener in the forward position. You know what I'm saying? He's not big enough to be a dominant rebounder, but then he doesn't have shot making ability. It's hard to build around him. You got to be innovative, and the Pelicans have never displayed that they're that type of franchise. Never.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
man.
agree. They haven't shown that. I mean, look at the Anthony Davis era. They didn't really show much of a ability to build a team around him. That I agree with. But I think with Zion, right? I think it's more of an environment. Like if you put him in Miami, right? Like there's no doubt like he'll be tough a tough player who can like kind of the Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra will be able to mold him. Or you bring him around Tibbs. I think Tibbs would be able to do a great job in molding him. I just think like three coaches and changing of staff personnel. You move Josh Hart, you move Lonzo Ball, you bring in other like you bring in veterans. 1 year you bring in Jonas and you take him out. Steven Adams, Eric Bledsoe. There's not been much of a consistency in his term over there as compared to like let's say John Morant and the Memphis Grizzlies or even RG Barrett and the Knicks. He had consistency.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, even they did. But the thing is, like Zion, I don't know, man. This thing has run its course, bro, and it's
No,
crazy
I
because
think his run his course in New Orleans.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was coming off a high with his return, him being in shape. He had a good showing with Anthony Edwards, but then it's just like, damn, it's another quick low with the
Yeah.
suspension.
That's what I'm saying, right? Is a lack of discipline in Zion Williamson.
Yeah, but it's also hard to tell. Is it him or is it what he's seeing in New Orleans and he's just not giving out the effort?
Yeah, I just think it's a bad culture. Like New Orleans never had a stable culture,
Mm-hmm.
Like look at Anthony Davis, right? I can't say Anthony Davis was a winning player in New Orleans, despite him having moments where he was dominant, like 2018. They just never gave him that real environment of like a championship or a playoff level team. And I think that's where a lot of young players, they get lazy in that kind of, in that kind of like wasteland, Like a lot of players, they don't survive unless they get a coach who can really change things around.
Yeah, it's so funny. Even DeJounte Murray going down there this season. Yo,
Yeah.
he's not really having a good season at all, even scoring wise.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's just what it is. Like, bro, when you have a coach, like a lot of these younger guys, they have good coaches. Like I think Chris Finch is a solid coach. Pop, you look at even Jamal Mosley, they're all good coaches. I think with him is just a lack of discipline with good like bad coaching throughout his term. And he has accountability too with his weight injuries. There's a lot of accountability he needs to take. But I think New Orleans, when you have a young player in 6 years, bro, going through three coaches is wild.
Yeah, it is. It is definitely wild. But it's not surprising though, because even decent teams like the Hawks with Trae Young, he's been through multiple coaches.
Yeah. But those coaches, they've shown at least some success. Like Lloyd Pierce was trash. Then you bring in the guy who played, man, what was his name again? Nate McMillan.
Oh, okay, you're talking about him. Okay, I think you're talking
Yeah.
about the guy that Oh no, you know what? He left
No,
before
it's
Zion
Quinn
got
Snyder.
there. The guy I'm thinking of.
Oh, you're talking about no, he was there for his rookie season. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, the guy
You're talking about
that didn't want to trade AD.
Yeah,
I forgot his name.
Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, Alvin Gentry. Yeah,
Alvin
that's what I was
Gentry. Then
talking
you had
about.
Stan Van Gundy for a year. So imagine you go 1 year, and like two coaches, and then you get the current coach is okay, but you're just not getting much of a consistent coaching. Like a coach who really changes culture. And I think
Mhm.
like the Pistons, they lucked into like JB Bickerstaff,
Yeah, they did.
like in
They
that
did.
regard, they lucked into that. And I think some coaches overthink their coaching hire. I think some of these guys, like, I get people get frustrated. Oh, why do like some coaches they keep getting jobs? But it makes sense why they keep getting jobs. Like you can't really experiment with younger coaches sometimes. Sometimes they pan out like Oklahoma or Orlando, but a lot of times they don't really pan out to anything.